Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Q1 FY 21-22 earnings conference call of the Karur Vysya Bank. We have with us today the management team of KVB, represented by the MD and CEO, Mr. Ramesh Babu, President and Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Natarajan, CFO, Mr. Ramesh Murthy, and Company Secretary and Compliance Officer, Mr. Srinivasa Rao. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please operator by pressing star then zero on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. P. Ramesh Babu, MD and CEO, to take us through the highlights of the quarter gone by, after which we will open the floor for questions. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good morning to all the attendees. I welcome everyone for this quarterly earnings call of Karur Vysya Bank. Trust all of you are safe and taking care of yourselves and your families. So we all witnessed the COVID-19 pandemic and the resultant lockdowns leading to a downward trajectory of the growth downwards last year. It was expected that the growth would rebound in financial year 2022. However, the advent of the second wave of the virus in the beginning of the financial year that led to state-induced lockdowns negated these assumptions to an extent. With the accelerated pace of vaccination drive, precautions and safety measures being taken, lots of awareness created, let us hope that the position will not be alarming and exit velocity will be much faster. Due to the ongoing COVID pandemic, as a bank, we continue to face formidable challenges on the personal as well as business fronts. Being an essential service, we have continued to deliver uninterrupted service to our customers while taking all necessary precautions to safeguard ourselves, our families, and our colleagues. More than 80% of our employees have been vaccinated. With the current relaxations of lockdowns at various states, our branches are now functioning at full strength. The pandemic created an opportunity for the growth of digital banking. Our bank continued the growth in the first quarter also on the digital front, as 92% of the transactions are through non-branch channel as against 88% of the previous corresponding period. The impact of second wave was very much felt in the first quarter by the industry. Despite these odds, we were able to report steady performance in the growth of business. Let me take you through the numbers in detail. Coming to the business growth, when we met last time on 31st May for quarter 4 and financial year 2021 performance updates, we had indicated 12% business growth based on the normalcy for the current year. Our strategies to achieve the business numbers were also outlined. During the first quarter, we have achieved 7% growth in deposits and 8% in advances on year-on-year basis. The growth in deposit side has been fueled by CASA portfolio, which is up by more than 200 basis points and is now at 35.2%. On a sequential basis, business growth has been muted, especially on the credit front. The sluggish growth is primarily due to lower acquisitions and lesser utilization of working capital limits by existing borrowers on account of specific circumstances prevailing in the market, which all of you are aware of. We achieved 33% growth in jewel loan portfolio over the corresponding previous year. Sequentially, it is about 3%. We continue to focus on this segment, taking care of operational issues and faster turnaround time, as well as the variation in gold prices vis-a-vis its LTV. We continue to hold our guidance of achieving 12% growth during current year, depending upon the external environment and of course without compromising on the asset quality. Coming to operating profit, our cost of funds has further reduced to 4.56%, down by 43 basis points from 4.99% in the previous financial year. The same was 5.42% in June 20 quarter and 4.65% in Q4 of 2021. During the current quarter, we have reduced our interest rates on term deposits across maturities and realigned our savings bank interest rates too. This will aid in reduction in the cost of funds going ahead. Yield on funds is maintained at 7.41% and yield on advances improved marginally at 8.55% over March 21 quarter. Net interest margin has improved by 9 basis points to 3.55% for current quarter over 3.46% of the previous quarter, that is quarter 4 of 2021. On year-on-year basis too, NIM is up by 19 basis points, thus NII grew by 14% YOY. Fee income other than treasury and forex increased by 21%. Treasury income has fallen by 80% over June 20 due to unfavorable and uncertain market conditions, as all of you know. Operating expenses are higher by 6%. Cost to income ratio stands a tad higher than 50% due to lower treasury income over corresponding quarter of last year. Operating profit for the quarter is at 429 crores, that is 2.2% of the average assets on an annualized basis. Of course, the drop in treasury profits did impact OP, but the overall revenue was almost flat on year-on-year basis, signifying that business operations are improving. Coming to collection efficiency, our collection efficiency has been further strengthened and continues to be at 95% levels during the first quarter despite many odds, and the further details are furnished in slide 20 of our deck. NPA and slippages, gross slippages for the quarter was at 519 crore and net slippages other than technical write-off was 404 crores. Technical write-off during the quarter was to the tune of 379 crore. Gross and net NPA numbers have marginally increased over March. Details of these are furnished in slides 25 and 26. Corporate portfolio witnessed fresh slippage of about 202 crores consisting of 4 accounts, of which 2 are in trade and 2 are from real estate, of which one of the trade account is already upgraded through recovery during the month of July. Both RE related accounts are under consortium. The projects are under progress and in a completion stage. Due to differences between the foreign and Indian promoters, there is stress in the accounts. Neither both the clients have opted for restructuring nor did they avail ECLGS, though they are eligible. The foreign promoters and funds are one of the reputed global players in the RE market and we expect resolution during the current year. We continue to maintain our guidance on gross slippages at 2% of the loan book and we are working towards negative net slippages by the end of the year under normal circumstances. SMA 30 plus balances as at the end of the quarter was 1,662 crores. About 647 crore, which comes to 39% of this book, is under jewel loan, which is mainly the result of the lockdown measures whereby many customers could not visit the branches. Of this, 249 crores has already moved out of stress either by way of closure or renewal post-June. LTV of the remaining balances of these accounts are very much lower than the current market price and we do not foresee any challenge in these segments as our branches are in touch with the customer for closure or renewal of the accounts. The LTV and other details we have provided in the investor deck. We have worked out strategic plans on recovery and many cases are in advanced stage of resolution, which include out-of-court settlements, legal proceedings and sale of properties. As the environment is becoming normal, we will show better performance in upcoming quarters. We have strengthened our collection capabilities to sustain and improve our collection efficiency. As all of you know, last year we have taken measures for our resolution wing and another general manager also we have placed and we are working on that. But during the year, because many of the courts they were not functioning, we were not getting the court orders. That's why many of the disposals of the properties which we are supposed to do got delayed, because once things become normal, I am very sure the pace will improve, and we have done the entire groundwork to take it forward. Further details are available in slides 20 and 21 of our investor presentation. Coming to restructuring, during the quarter, bank has restructured 375 accounts amounting to 96 crore. Overall, standard restructured book as at the end of the quarter stands at 1028 crore, that is 1.97% of our loan book. Further details on this are available in 28 and 30 pages of the investor deck. So coming to provisions, we have provided 278 crores towards NPA during the quarter and continue with our plan for making higher than the required provision towards NPA and to bring down our net NPA. Provision coverage ratio, excluding written off accounts, is lower at 54.4%. As on March, it was 57.1%, mainly due to the prudential write-offs. We intend to keep this ratio in the range of 55 to 60%. Our estimated credit cost for the current year will be in the range of 2% of our loan book, and we are working on those lines. Finally, coming to the ROA, in our earlier briefings too, we had indicated to reach ROA of 1% at the end of financial year 2023 and 1% in the year 2024, 1% plus. We hold on this guidance considering our profitability trends, expenditure controls, growth, recoveries, and lower provision requirements from the next year. So, friends, you would have seen that with a lower treasury income of 143 crores also, so we are able to manage well because rest of the wings, they are supporting that way. So that way, we are reasonably confident that we will be back on track provided the environment and external factors, they support us. So that's it from my side. Now we can go for the Q&A, please.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and one on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and two. Participants are requested to use handset while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Vikas Sharda from NT Asset Management. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
One thing I wanted to clarify that you mentioned that you're looking for gross slippage of 2% for the year and net slippage to be negative. So, where do you expect the gap between the two? And secondly, you also said that your guidance of credit cost for the year is 2% of loans. So, how does it reconcile with the negative net slippage number for the year?
Yeah. The gross slippages, what we said 2%, we are trying for that. We'll work on that. When we are talking about the negative net slippages, that includes the write-offs also. Recoveries, okay, upgradations, write-offs, all these things together. So we will aim for the net slippages because even if you look at the write-offs also, 100% of that has been provided by us. So that is the reason every year, every quarter, beyond what all is required, we are providing additional amounts to take care of these things. So that way we are aiming for the net slippages to be negative. So with all these three factors looking at it. Now coming to the credit cost is concerned, if you look at it, as it is, the net, our intention is to bring down the net NPA. Otherwise, we would have guided earlier itself that ROA will be 0.8, 0.9 this year itself. This quarter also, more than what all is required, we have provided for the net slippages. So if we add it back to the profit, so we will be crossing this 0.8, 0.9 what we are thinking. But net slippages have to come down. So this year, to the extent possible, the provisions, what all we are creating is to take care of the net slippages. So with that, our intention overall is, so 2% we will be maintaining, but over a period of from next year onwards, this 2% will progressively start coming down because we would have addressed major part of the net slippages by the end of the year.
But I mean, just curious that why 2% credit cost this year? Like,
No,
I
I'll
mean,
just share
given the
with you.
fact that,
So the question is, suppose
yep.
if you need to meet the RBI guidelines and all, you may need 1%. Okay? But until and unless you make an accelerated provision, the net NPA numbers will not come down. If you look at our net NPA, it is coming to around 1,800 crores. So progressively we have to bring it down. So that accelerated provision, we need to make it. If I go on adding it towards the profit and ROA, this number will not come down anytime. So that way upgradations will be there and recoveries will be there, focus will be there, all this will be there. In addition to that, as a kicker, if we do not provide something more than what all is required, so we will not be able to address a problem. We want to keep this problem behind because, as all of you know, lot many measures have been taken in the corporate front, and the bigger exposures we stop taking and all, and quality we are looking at it. So that way, so corporate, if it comes under control, and its net NPA also it brings under control, the focus will be on three fronts. Will be focusing. One is on the business growth. Automatically the percentages will come down. Second thing is the accelerated provisioning, what we are going to make. That also will bring down the net NPA. And third thing, the recovery efforts what we are making, both through legal, out of the court, all these things. So common point for us now is single point is how to bring down the net NPA with all these things. Then rest of the things we can focus and ROA will automatically go up.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Before we take the next question, a reminder to the participants, if you have a question, please press then 1 on your touchtone telephone. The next question is from the line of Renish Bhuva from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir.
Hi. Renish, your voice is pretty feeble. You need to either come to the nearer to the mic or something like that.
Okay. So it is better now?
Sir, no, we are unable to hear you well, sir.
Yes. It is better now?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, pretty good.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir. So first question is on our gold loan book. So, sir, what is our total gold loan book as on June?
13,000 crores order, na? 30,000.
Yes.
It is, if you look at the total book, it is 13,206 crore. So slide number 20 we have given it. So 13,206 total. This is the book.
Okay. Okay. And how much of that would be towards SME?
No, SME, in my inaugural this thing I had told you, if you look at it, the NPA under the gold loan is pretty small amount. Okay. If you look at the SMA portion 30 plus, 600 odd crores, what I have told in my inaugural remarks, out of that, more than 260 crores has already been recovered or renewed or whatever it is, we have done that. So the good thing here is, comforting factor is, though last year the relaxation was there for giving a relaxation, the LTV up to 90%, we were relatively conservative. We were maintaining at 75 and not more than 80% in few cases at all. So that way, if these loans they come for renewal, the problem is currently what others face is, so people will have to bring some more money because 95-100% LTV has come. Whereas in our case, in our slide we have shown, it is 78% for the overall. That too, particularly if you look at the personal segment also, it is 68%. So hardly above 90%, our LTV is 1.96 crores. 90% and above LTV is 1.96 crores, that's all. And above 85 and below 90 is hardly around 400 crores out of 13,000 crore portfolio. So the only question is, now that people, they have interest in the gold, and even if you go to the market, you will be able to dispose of, we are relatively better placed as far as the JL portfolio is concerned.
Got it, sir. And sir, just to follow up on that.
Renish, one more point I'd like to add here. If you see the slide number 20, we have clearly mentioned what is our SMA 30 plus level, and also we have provided what is the current level of these accounts. So it's very clearly indicate it's purely because of the operational issues. People are not able to come to the bank. Otherwise, as far as the LTV and market value is concerned, absolutely there is no issue. And of course, over a period of time, I think these numbers will come down drastically.
Renish, just to clarify, one last clarification on slide 20. The LTV number which you see there of 78% relates only to the SMA book, okay? So we are much better off otherwise.
Oh, I see. That's very good.
This is only focused on that.
That SMA book LTV itself is 78. That's why you have 22% margin for this LTV.
Also. So that's what I just wanted.
Got it, sir. Got it, sir. So just a clarification on that. So of this total 13,200 crores of gold loan book, so what is the split between agri, retail, and SME? So retail, I'm assuming that 1,800 crore is part of this 13,200 crore.
Yeah.
And then what is left would be how much would be agri and SME?
Agri is majority is agri. It's 10,000 crores odd is agri. So now personal segment, the balance amount is from the business segment, very small amount.
Got it, sir. Okay. And so this last question from my side on the fee income. Okay. So interestingly, the 1.5 billion kind of a run rate is sort of sustaining from almost 7 to 8 quarters. So if you can throw some light in terms of the more granular details, whether it is driven from a liability side or asset side, because in this quarter, as you already highlighted in the opening remarks, that business activity were muted in terms of the credit growth. So I'm assuming this 150 odd crore of the fees is largely coming from the liability side, in a sense which is sticky. So what is the sort of expectation on this core fee income line? And if you can throw some light on the details about this 150 crore in terms of the breakup.
No, coming to the other income breakup, if you talk about, I'll just share with you one thing. There are two factors. One is, to some extent, last year in respect of some ATMs and these sort of things and all minimum balance charges, we were not recovering in the first quarter because of the government dispensation. So that is a small amount. But in addition to that, we started looking at carefully on the credit front, the processing charges and these sort of things. When we look at it, compared to last year, the processing charges itself has gone up by 9 crore. 9 crore. Okay. So likewise, a few other areas, wherever these things are there, we are going headwise. What is the room available? What we need to do? We are working on that. In addition to that, so I also mentioned earlier, we have just recently brought out a CRM also, a revamped CRM. With that, how we need to go ahead for the cross-sell and upsell. We are working on that. Once that also kicks in, the cross-sell income also will go up. So our effort is two-pronged. One is on the every lever of the income head, what we need to do, where we need to reduce the concessions. We need to look at the quality of the borrower and the risk-reward pricing. Are we doing properly or not? That way to legitimately get our income, what we are supposed to get from each account. And other side also expenses, wherever we can contain, we are working. So that way, the two-pronged approach, we are working.
Got it, sir. Got it. And sir, how big is the team for data analytics for this process?
Yeah, data analytics, lot many things we are doing and all. Now for the business, there are two fronts actually for the data analytics we are working. One is on the stress side. And stress side, if you look at it, because currently the problems are there, much in advance, how to identify this, which are the accounts which can go, these things and all. And these things we are working, that's why a lot of control we have got on this, particularly on the retail and SME front from the data analytics. Coming to the business side, so a lot of mining is happening, the current accounts that profiling they are doing and all, what sort of products we can give it to them, like pre-approved loans also. When the things were going on well and all, we did a lot on the pre-approved loan. Now we are seriously considering, now the position has slightly improved. Can we go back to the pre-approved loans? But even with the pre-approved loans you go also, our unsecured loan portfolio is around 500. There itself we have enough scope is there. So that way analytics we are using both for business as well as for the stress. Both sides we are working, and we have further strengthened our analytics wing by providing few more people also who are experienced there. So every wing, vertical, what we can derive from the analytics, we are working on those lines.
Got it, sir. Okay, sir. Sir, just last question on this write-off. Of this 380 crore write-off, it suggests that it is primarily from the corporate book. So, is there a, let's say series of accounts, or it is towards couple of accounts?
It's a 7 accounts, Anish.
And it's all legacy, let's say 4-5 years?
Yeah, all completely, it's all legacy account or NCLT.
But Renish, one thing, the fact that we would have written off, but mentally we have not written off.
Got it, sir. Yeah.
It will be after them, and all those NCLT, all these things will be going on because these courts, NCLTs, they are not functioning now. So it is subdued. Otherwise, once this normalcy restores, so whole hog will be going on these front for recovery of this, not only these accounts, smaller, everything. So that will be a big pool supporting us for the net NPA reduction.
Got it. So this is broadly a technical write-off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got it. Okay. That's it from my side, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks, Ranish. Yeah.
Thank you. Reminder to the participants, if you have a question, please press star then 1 on your touchtone telephone. The next question is from the line of Anand Dama from Emkay Global. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks.
Sir, wanted to check on the jewel loans segment. So, when we speak to other banks, and basically they have indicated there is a lot of stress in that book. And post the LTV reduction, banks are finding it difficult to do or lend into this segment. But if you look at our book, we have seen a decent growth in the jewel loan segment. So, can you explain how is it happening?
Yeah. So as I was telling Mr. Ananda, as I was telling earlier, so we were relatively conservative last year, though we had the elbow room to go up to 90%. So we were assuming, saying that post this withdrawal of this, what will be the position. So that is the reason that has hindsight, if you look at it, that has helped us. So that is the reason this SMA book itself is 78% only the LTV. Rest overall, if you look at it, is less than 70, 75, something like that. So LTV front, we are comfortable. But then that be the case, why this SMA has come. SMA has come, you would have seen that particularly in the areas where we operate. So part of April as well as May, there was an absolute difficulty for the people to move out. So that's the reason our people, they couldn't go and the customers could not come. So June, when the normalcy started restoring, so we started working on that. Much of the pain we have removed. But even with that, at the end of June, 600 crores, what all is there in the month of July. So a lot has been out. So we are working on that. Next 1 or 2 months and all, we will be able to renew majority of them. Even if we are unable to renew these things and all, we have sufficient margin available with us to take care of that, even if we go for an auction, which is a last resort. So that way, we do not foresee a much strain in this particular portfolio because of the comforting factor of the LTV. Now coming to the growth front, I agree. Last year, corresponding period, first quarter, we have grown by 700 crores odd. And this year, we have grown by 285, 300 crores, something like that. So we were also cautious, saying that the same run rate goes and all, how it would be. And that is the reason when we have gone reasonably okay, these 300 crores we have grown. But few of them, when they are cutting the corners, we didn't want to do that. So we felt saying that reasonable growth is better than having a pain later. So that is the reason 300 crores. I am not assuming, saying that last year how much of growth we have got it under the gold loan. We may get it and all, we do not know. But our focus will be there, provided if operationally we are comfortable and we are confident.
Okay. So secondly, the slippage that we have seen 519 crores. So you mentioned about some lumpy corporate slippage as well in this. So that pertains mainly to retail, the real estate one.
First thing I want to clarify, the lumpy was the word actually. Suppose 1 year, 1.5 years back, when we were having these slippages of 150, 200 crore, these sort of things. Now, if you look at it, all these slippages barring one account are all below 50 crore. So below 50 crore, ideally, any bank will be taking, and also that way this granularized, unlike earlier problem of lumpy, that is not there now, first thing. And second thing, if you look at it, out of the 2 accounts are from the trading and 2 accounts are from the real estate. Real estate also, if you look at it, they are big projects under consortium, and the partner is a foreign partner, and more or less up to 80% the construction also has been completed. And one other good factor you would have observed, I have told, GECL restructuring, though we were offering, they didn't take it. They felt saying that there is no need for us. We have to internally resolve few issues and all. With that, we will go ahead. We do not want it. So we have been offering them for the last 6 months, because for the just evergreening, you can take that money and all, you can repay, and all these things can be done. But they didn't prefer to do it. That gives us a confidence that they are serious about the resolution. So coming to the two other trading accounts and all, one of the account has already been upgraded and second account will work on that. Even if something is not possible also, I can give you confidence that these are backed by more than 100% collateral.
So is it possible for you to spell out the exposures of each of these four accounts, two trading and two real estate?
I'll tell you, you sell out in the sense that to whom, ARC or separately?
No, I'm saying what are the exposures to these two trading accounts and two real estate accounts?
No, trading exposure is concerned. There's a collateral is there and all with us. It's because he's a sole banker and all, you will be able to dispose of the property. But whereas both the real estate are concerned, you are one of the consortium lenders. So consortium lenders, all of us, we need to come together. But I can tell you, already a SARFAESI notice has been given by the leader and the process is on, and everyone, other lenders, 3-4 lenders, whoever are there, are equally concerned. They are putting entire pressure. They are not waiting for the partners to settle their scores, and we are on our own proceeding as if nothing is going to happen. So these two will concurrently proceed.
So what is the exposure of this large real estate account?
It is also less than 100 crore.
Less than 100 crores for us. And overall systemic exposure will be how much?
Systemic exposure is only, I think that is only
for the consortium as a whole?
That is around 350 crores.
Okay, 350 crores. So it is not a very big real estate.
No, not at all. I'll tell you, the project itself values 950 crores.
Okay, and this is from South India again?
Majority of South India. One is from South India.
One is South India and one is from the...
So we have balanced it there, South and North.
Okay. But is it possible for you to name it?
No. Basically, it's all foreign fund, so they're all very reputed global players. That's what we mentioned.
It's not fair on our part to name it and all to expose them. It's not, because we'll work as a banker, what we are supposed to do, we'll do that.
Okay. So you mean to say that from of these four accounts, about one trading account which has already got upgraded, what is the exposure of that account?
Less than 50 crore, that also. Because out of these four accounts, 3 are less than 50 crore. And that real estate account, what I said, is less than 100 crore. So that is where resolution is on. Rest of them, all 3 are less than 50.
Okay. I got it. And sir, you said that basically some restructuring also might happen. So what's the pipeline of restructuring that we have now?
That is a dicey question. The reason is, up to September, RBI has given the time. So the pipeline, things are coming. The majority, what all are coming are from the personal segment, if you look at it, housing loans as well as loan against property. These two are the main. So because personal loans, maybe other banks may be getting a lot. As I said earlier, our total portfolio itself is above 500 crores. So that much of pressure and requests are not there from the unsecured loans. Once these things have come up, so we are skeptical. If the chances of these people over a period of time getting the cash flows and revival and servicing is good, we will go for the restructuring. If that is not possible, it is better to bite the bullet itself. Now itself you take it forward and all and proceed under SARFAESI. So that way, very critically, each of the case, our people, they review. If it is workable and meets our standards, then only we'll go for restructuring. Otherwise, suppose, even if you find a pipeline of 600, finally you may land at around 200. If you see the last quarter, whole quarter itself is less than 100 crore. So that way it is deceptive. If we think that the pipeline is 1000 crore, finally we may land at 200 crore. So overall, if you look at it, initially 6 months back, we were giving a guidance of 2.25%. Finally, we landed at around below 1.5. And even now today is 1.97. So we are careful about restructuring. We have not opened the floodgates. Wherever it is warranted, we will do that. But the window is open up to September ending. So I will not be able to say any number at this stage. I can share this number only in the after October.
Okay, but is it fair to assume that basically it will be less than 2.25%?
No, that's what I am telling you. My intention is that, but suppose how it pans out the next few months, we do not know the stress and all. Based on that, in the month of August and first week of September, many more customers, they come. So I cannot say that I have my 2.25 and beyond that I will not do, because RBI provision is there, everyone can demand. So intentions are that. So to selectively go for that, that is the reason we have not crossed even 2% as on date.
Right.
Anand, it is difficult to say in the last 2 weeks of September what will happen. They could, because the deadline is coming close, some more people may decide to go and opt for restructure, and it's left to us. If it's a restructurable account, we will do it.
But few of them, they don't want the tag. The restructuring tag they don't want. That is the precise reason they are not coming forward. When finally they exhaust all the avenues, they are pushed to the wall, they may come, we do not know at that stage.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah, but then still, sir, I mean, what kind of moratorium we have offered on these restructured loans?
No, the majority of the cases is 1 year, 6 months to 1 year.
Maximum 2 years. Maximum 2 is permitted.
2 years. Majority of the cases we have extended the due date only.
Due date in the sense basically that, I mean, customer doesn't have to pay principal for how long?
No, that's what, and depending upon their cash flows availability, 6 months to 2 years.
It ranges, Anand. It's not everybody is opting for 2 years. Some of them want only 6 months. It's their choice. Some of them is a year, 18 months, like that. So it's a mix.
So even to a housing loan customer, you would offer principal non-repayment for 2 years, yes? I mean.
No, that's what I'm saying. It depends on the cash flows, the estimate is there. Suppose if we feel within 6 months, his normalcy will be restored and all, we will be opting only for 6 months. It's a question of mutual discussion what all is there. And at the most, suppose a self-employed is there. And he may say that, sir, 1 year I may require and all, because I do not know how things are going to pan out and all. I'll have to come back and restart my business also. So you may have to be slightly considerate, because you cannot kill him straight. So there you may consider for 1 year. So it depends on the nature of profession, profile of the customer, cash flows. That is the reason each case they'll evaluate critically. Based on that, they are giving it, just like giving a straight jacketed method of everyone I'll give you 2 years, everyone I'll give you 1.5 years. Not just that way.
Okay. Okay. Sure, sir. That's it from my side. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Anand. Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Jay Mundra from B&K Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, sir. Thanks
Hi.
for the opportunity.
Yeah.
First, sir, this collection efficiency number that you have given is for the entire bank, right? Because it was given in the gold loan slide. So just wanted to double check.
The collection efficiency slide separately is for the whole book term loan. Term loan and working loan separately we have given it, yeah.
Right. So even in April, it was not too much of a dip, right? If you see, it has still hovered around it. So could include the situation today, maybe based on the repayment that may have come after the month, right?
Correct. True.
Right. Okay. And why is there a slight dip in working capital versus term loan? I thought it should be the other way around. But I mean, if you can qualitatively explain that, why would the collection efficiency be lower in working capital versus a term loan?
See, Jay, actually, in the case of working capital, as per the IRAC norms, the interest amount, whatever we are debiting during the quarter, at least the collection should come. The credit should be equivalent to the interest debited during the 3 months period. And because of the lockdowns, if the shops are not open or the customers are not able to reach, they may find it difficult to give the credit. We call it out of order. So basically, the collection efficiency we talk about for working capital is they have to service the interest, number one. And during the 3 months period, the credit should be equivalent to the interest debited in the account. This is what we calculate as a demand. Unless the term loan, where there is a very specific EMI, in the case of working capital, this is what we work out. So there definitely, since operations are not there or credits are not equivalent to the interest debited, there will be some time delay will be there.
And not only that, suppose sometimes the working capital they may debit and all, they may honor the term loan installment also.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Understood, sir. Now on your commercial book of around 16,000 crore, if you can qualitatively explain what percentage of this book would be in, let us say, B2B customers, and how much would be B2C facing the customer? I mean, commercial, I mean, would they be just in the supply chain wherein, end to end they are facing a large corporate? Or, how much proportion could be in the B2C kind of a segment?
Jay, I think we need to work out on this and we need to come back because currently I don't have the data with me.
Right. But any broad number, sir? I mean, we do not want any.
Commercial book is concerned, there are two components. Okay, 9,500 crores is a small business. Small business is up to 2 to 3 crores, something like that. Out of this, majority of the business is from the traders. And so that way you cannot expect this B2B supply chain, all these things, you cannot expect because they are all small time players. It is better for us because the yields what we get from these people are around 10 to 10.5. Okay. Now coming to the BBU customers, if you look at it under the commercial, that 4,500 crores what you see, which is about 2-3 crores and all. Only those segment we may have to look at it how many these things are there. So otherwise B2C or B2B whatever it is, the focus what we are giving is one and the same. Now currently if you look at it, one more thing, if the buyers are not able to honor in time, so these people are again struggling. So during the COVID period, so the earlier concept of these things have undergone change. So few people that are unable to operate, the production itself is not there, few people are unable to get. But whatever it is, your point is well taken. We'll work on our BBU customers, how it works and all, and accordingly we'll plan for that.
Understood, sir. And second, sir, on your guidance on 2% credit cost, right? So as someone was also explaining, this would mean a elevated number. So this would include your restructuring provisioning as well, right?
Yeah, Jay, you have been tracking the bank numbers for the last few years. So 2% was an elevated number. 2.5, 2.7, these things, 1,600, 1,800 crores also slippages, 1,600 used to be there. So if you see the real capability of the bank, not to boast, I'll tell you, 2021, when majority of the period of moratorium is there, people, they were fence sitters, even if we were asking for the money, they were telling when Supreme Court dispensation is there, why are you asking the money? When we have got a little and small window of 10 days, so we could bring it down, these slippages to below 1,000 crores, 900 crores. So which used to be 1,600 crore. So now if you look at it, had the position continued, the second wave, this sort of stringent wave is not there, the momentum would have continued. So we would have confidently told you, saying that we can bring it down further, it is not an issue. But because of the position these things are there, with all these things also, if you are saying 2%, which used to be much above 2% in the earlier years and all, so we are reasonably feeling okay with the March experience what we had. If the market and environment is conducive, we will be able to take it forward, and because the issues, earlier exit, legacy, these accounts have got, now we will have a better control on these accounts. So currently if you look at it, 2% may be there. Over a period of time, our intention is to bring down to 1.5 over a period of time once things improve. So 2% current number under the current environment, if you look at it, I think it is a good number.
No, it is of course a reasonable number. I just wanted to check that this would include your restructuring provisioning also, right? I mean, all
credit cost you are talking or slippages?
No, credit cost, sir. So credit cost you will also.
See, Jay, the credit cost we mentioned about that 2%. Even in our MD's guidance, he was mentioning that our plan is to make higher than required provision. Even the current quarter, whatever we have, the credit cost of 278 crores, if you exactly work out the IRAC norms and all these things, we have made some accelerated provision. In that sense only, we are talking about this 2%. It doesn't include the restructuring. And
sorry, I was thinking earlier the slippages you are talking, that's the reason I responded. Like credit cost is, as President said, it is very correct, because net NPA over a period of time we need to bring it down. For that accelerated provisioning, what all is required, we have to do that, which includes the migration provision, the current slippages, and accelerated, all these things together we are planning for 2%.
Right, sir. Okay, just a small observation, sir. The SMA number that we give, I mean the chart that we show, that seems to have almost doubled in let's say from March to June.
Yeah.
Right? If you look the index number,
And that is slightly deceptive. The reason is, I'll tell you. March, you would have found out around 900 crore. Okay, now 1600 crore. In the 900 crore, the jewel loan was less than 100 crore at that time. Now the jewel loan SMA is 600 crore. So that is the reason if you exclude this jewel loan SMA, it comes to 1000 crore. Earlier also 900 crores, 100 crore if you exclude that, it comes to 800 crore. So 800 other than jewel loan has come to 1000, which with the second quarter or second wave, what all is there, it is expected because people could not go out and all. So that way this is not that alarming. But if you conclude with including jewel loan, if you see, it looks like that, but it is slightly deceptive.
Right. No, understood, sir. Thank you so much for your time and explanation. All the best.
Pleasure.
Thank you. We take the next question from the line of Aman Elahi from Investec India. Please go ahead.
Aman.
Yeah, hi, sir. Thank you.
Hi.
Yeah. So just some comments again. I'll pester you on the corporate book. So we had 210 crores of slippages in the corporate book, and we have been sort of slowing down and rationalizing this book. So going forward, what kind of slippage rate can we expect from this book? I understand most of these are smaller exposures, and so just some guidance on what kind of slippage we can expect from this book.
No, Aman, in fact, if you look at our March ending SMA, it is less than 50 crore, SMA 30 plus under the corporate book. Okay? So we were reasonably confident, everything has been brought under control, everything has been disclosed. So these things, because second wave has hit and the issues which has come up in respect of the real estate, so those two accounts, the foreign player as well as the Indian player, these have cropped up. Otherwise, we were not even expecting this at the end of March. So, if that way, if you look at it, so nothing big we are expecting as it is. We are having a thorough control, and above all, we have granularized the book also. So, I don't expect the sort of lumpy accounts and all coming forward. That's what I can say.
Sure.
Because you see, my number of March ending, that corporate book was how much it is? It is 13 crore, 13, SMA 30 plus, as on 31st March was 13 crores. So these are the developments which have come up during the quarter because of the peculiar circumstances. Otherwise, we were on a firm footing as well as the corporate is concerned.
Right, got it. Sir, the other question was on the margins. So we have been able to maintain our yields, and there was some reduction in cost of funds. So do we have further room for deposit cuts, and what should we expect on the margin front in the coming quarter?
Now I had to be open with you. The room available for further deposit cut may not be there. The reason is we have come to this stage, and how long this will continue, we do not know. Now the reversal starts. Slowly you may have to start working on this. But only advantage is in respect of liabilities repricing. So the past what all is there, at least they will not get repriced. Whereas in respect of assets, the repricing starts first. That is the advantage. Now coming to the margins also, you need to look at it because of the liquidity overhang in the system. There is a rat race going on. So few people, they offer a lower rate and all. Now, at least to retain your own customer, who is good actually, because acquiring a fresh customer is a costly affair compared to retaining existing customers. Sometimes you may have to compromise on the margins if they are good customers. So that way, intention is to optimize the margins both from the cost-wise reduction as well as improving the margin. So improving the margin now would be difficult. The yields on advances also. Once the interest rate cycle starts moving, we will be able to know. Otherwise, so we can think of maintaining this particular margin, and here and there may be blip here and there.
Okay, got it. And sir, lastly, we have given this chart on employee and attrition rate. So obviously attrition rate has been
Attrition rate.
yeah.
Okay.
So the past 15 months, your employee count has gone down by roughly 400, but the attrition rate has been coming down. So what explains this?
Hey, there are two things. As it is, we are focusing on the productivity, business per employee, these things and all. So that's why wherever loose ends are there, we are trying to fix those things. So next thing is the wastages. Wastages in the sense that any retirements, any deaths, these things are there from the employee side. We are not replacing at one point of time few years back on a person to person basis every year we were replacing that. Now we didn't replace that also. So that way with the existing structures what we have created and the digitization what we have brought and the back office centralization what we have brought, with all these things, wherever the manpower can be reduced, we are trying to reduce them and focusing the existing manpower on the sales to improve the business levels and all, rather than on earlier the back office work doing in the branch.
Right, sir. Got it. And lastly, sir, under the OTR scheme 2.0, we have restructured 90 odd crores. So is there any corporate account in that? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir, you may go ahead. We can hear you.
Yeah. So my question is, under the OTR scheme 2.0, we have restructured 90 odd crores of loans. Is there a corporate account in that?
Ms. Elahi, just allow me a minute. We are just trying to reconnect the management.
Go ahead, please.
Yes, sir. We have Ms. Elahi on.
Hey, sorry, the line got disconnected. Achha, one thing is, I'll just clarify. The attrition is, suppose someone who has left the organization before their retirement, it's under attrition. The normal retirement, what I was telling, a normal wastages and all this, we are not taking. That's why the numbers are coming down. Attrition is coming, so it gives a confidence for the people saying that I need to stay back with the organization. So that's a good for us, the lower the attrition rate and all, because you have seen our average age is also around 35. So younger this age and all with lower attrition, it is good for the organization because many measures, internally employee welfare measures we are taking internally to promote them, to capacity building, to train them. With all these things, the confidence levels of the employees are going up. That has resulted in the lower attrition levels.
Thanks. And so just lastly, under the OTR scheme 2.0, we have restructured close to 9 crores. Is there a
Resolution 2. I'm sorry, yours is breaking, I say, please.
Sir, may I please request you to use the handset mode while speaking, sir?
So my question is, under the resolution framework 2.0, we have restructured close to 90 odd crores. So is there a corporate account in that?
Does any corporate account in this resolution too? Huh?
Mostly retail. It's primarily a retail book, not corporate.
Okay, got it. That's it from my side.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. A reminder to the participants, if you have a question, please press star then on your touchtone telephone. The next question is from the line of Arjun Chandrani from Green Shanki Foundation. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. What I wanted to ask was that how are the recovery shaping up in Q2, because the problem of COVID has still not, receded in the southern part of the country. And do you expect a net negative net slippage number for this quarter?
I agreed. The question is, so as far as we are concerned, we are working with the courts, as I said earlier. So these sort of getting the orders from the courts, these things are not coming. That's the problem. But we are trying for the OTS. Suppose and OTS, even without the courts and all, we'll be able to do that. So our intention is to have the negative net slippages. We are working on that. We need to see how it pans out and all. But otherwise, this year is concerned, it will be a year of recovery, and we'll be focused on this, though not this quarter, in the coming months also. And as and when a window and opportunity is there, we are for that and all. And in fact, we are taking people from the market in the recovery who have the expertise from a few of the companies and firms who are actually dealing with them. Some experienced people also we are taking it because we want to take it forward to the next level.
One more point, Mr. Arjun. See, if you see our collection efficiency for July, it is something around 96-97%, as far as the collections are concerned. But as far as slippages are concerned, in July we are not seeing that much slippages when compared to the earlier quarter. So what we are confident is whatever recovery measures the bank has taken during the last year and during the first quarter, we think that many of the things will materialize. So that is why we are planning that at the end of this quarter or end of the year, we are planning for the negative slippages. So there will be some slippages, but what we are expecting is our recoveries will be better than our slippages.
Recovery and write-off together.
Okay, and thank you. And one more question I had was that one second. No, that's all right. It was answered. Thank you.
Thank you, Arjun.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Participants, if you have a question, please press star then 1.
Yeah.
I think there are no more questions. So I think let's
I'll conclude
this thing to an end. Our MD will give the concluding remarks now.
Yeah, friends, thanks to all of you for your interest in discussing and participating in this particular call. But finally, I just want to say a few things to you. We, from the management side, we are very keen to fix the issues what we have, because particularly two-pronged approach we need to do. One is the focus on the ROA. As I was mentioning, if we leave providing for the NPA, net NPA reduction and these sort of things, and if we focus on ROA, we will be able to achieve the ROA of 1%. But somehow I feel it will not work that way. The percentages of the net NPA and other things need to come down. So three-pronged approach is very much required. One is the growth in the business. If all of you can see, the little window what all 5-6 months was available last year, so we could grow better than the market at 11% excluding IBPC, and so that way the growth we could get, particularly more so in the last quarter. Had the position continued, the momentum would have continued in the first quarter also. Now many of the operating teams, they are geared up and various verticals started contributing. So that way, once the environment is normal, we'll be able to get the growth numbers. Second thing is our intent we have shown during this quarter also. So the accelerated provisioning, rather than confining to what all is required, we want to provide accelerated provision so that we need to bring down the net NPA issue what all is there. So your total focus would be on the ROA. And third thing, it also need to support from the recoveries. That is the reason we have strengthened the recovery mechanism here, and provided once these things are available, it will be much more better, because auctions also, if you go for that, the people are not coming forward because they are bogged down with the COVID related issues. Once these things are fixed, the recovery also will start giving good numbers. The total base is ready. We have enough numbers on the recovery front to get it. So if these three fronts they support us, we will be in a better position to bring down the net NPA, and the provision automatically, the credit cost comes down. It goes towards the ROA, and we will be able to focus on that. So this is our approach, and all verticals we are working very seriously. Business, non-business, recovery, collection, everything we are taking it quite seriously. And thank you very much once again from the entire team of KVB for the interest what you have shown. Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of the Karur Vysya Bank, that concludes this conference. Thank you all for joining us. You may now disconnect your lines. Thank you.